Good afternoon and good Tuesday evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Oh, goodness. Let's start over. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is David Rodgers. We're going the full 2 hours of night, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Right alongside right here, I got Mr. Dave Holland, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Right now, Mr. Byron Bagwell is missing right now, but he'll be joining us here in just a little bit. We are the live Facebook interactive show where you, the viewer, has total input on topics of discussion regarding any subject that includes commenting, talking, or debating, not with just your host, but with each other. You control and run this show. We are just the rudder that steers this big old ship. This is a show that is wide open with no limits as we bring it to you first. We discuss breaking news, politics, and business, sports, and other pertinent stories that affect our everyday lives. We serve the regional area to include Stark, Lake Butler, Keystone Heights, Palatka, Gainesville, Waldo, Lulu, where I seen Dave's stepsister the other day, Melrose, Brooker, Hampton, Middleburg, Jacksonville, and other surrounding areas. If there is a story to be reported or dissected, On the Spot is the first to handle it. We also discuss happenings in Florida as well as Georgia and other southeastern states. But now let me introduce the show team, the guys who bring the move to the groove. First, behind the controls with the video and audio is our senior producer, Mr. Command and Control, the big dog himself, our executive producer, Super Dave Daredevil Holland. Say hello, David.
Hello, everybody.
Behind the scenes is our director, Michael the Dragon Slayer Heater. Also behind the scenes providing us with up-to-date information, our sports production assistant, Roger the Tornado Cruz, and our man with all things weather, Austin Storm Chaser Stevens. And now my co-host, missing right now on a little special assignment, but he'll be here to join us to my left. The historian and governmental whiz on all things national and international, Byron, the one who helps keep our freedom and rights Bagwell. And to my right with local news and breaking information, Mitchell, the American scout and your lookout on terrorism and anything else that does not belong or looks out of place, Gunter.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And I'm your host, Mr. David Rodgers, the voice of the Bradford High Tornadoes, and your host of On the Spot with David Rodgers, and
The Show Pony.
The Pony. There we go. We are coming to you live from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office, and we want to thank our host, Sheriff Gordon Smith and his great emergency management staff, for their hospitality. Just a reminder about the new and improved ADOs, so you, the viewer, has your say. Anytime a story hits near and dear to the hearts of our viewers, or you have any questions or comments, we jump into ADO. What is ADO, Mitchell?
Audience-driven overtime.
That's right. This allows you, the viewers, to have complete control of our show while giving everyone equal opportunity to have their voices heard. And now, before we dive into the show, it's time to recognize our sponsors. We can't do it without them, the companies and groups that allow us to provide the services that we do. We call this Welcome to the Sponsor Spotlight, starting with our very own Dave Holland and the fantastic team at Harry Business, home of the $8 haircut, located in the Deerfoot Village. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and 12 to 4 on Sunday.
How about Miracle Automotive and Towing in Stark and McClenny? Don't pray for a miracle, call a miracle. 904-368-1114. 24/7, 365 days a year for all your towing and automotive needs.
Williams Jewelry of Stark, Vicki Williams, open 9 to 5:30, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 to 4 on Wednesday, and 10 to 4 on Saturdays.
How about on-the-spot lawn maintenance?
Hey, how about that?
Let your red, white, and blue take care of your green. We have your gutters, pressure washing covered, and all sorts of yard maintenance needs. Just find us on Facebook or call 904-966-1633.
And you know that stuff's heating up right now, Mr.
You
Mitchell
better
Gunner.
believe it.
It doesn't matter if coronavirus or not. Grass got to be cut. Tonight's show sponsor, First Service Mobile Small Engine Repair in McRae. Let Chuck Scarberry come to you. Call 904-703-5136 to schedule an appointment. Schuster and Sabin Law Firm out of Jacksonville, Florida, the home of Leonard Skinner, Molly Hatchet, and several other good Southern rock groups, Mitchell. If you've been injured in an accident, visit www.piplaw.com.
How about Mike Qualls?
Yeah.
And Lazy Q Productions. If you need a jingle for your jingle or a catchphrase for your business, contact Mike Qualls at Lazy Q Productions.
I wonder why he's calling it lazy. Do you think he does it from his rocking chair?
I don't know.
Possibly. How about our newest sponsor, Mrs. Clean Housekeeping Services, commercial and residential cleaning. Call Carrie today for your free estimate at 352-575-5835. Yeah, go ahead there, Mitchell.
Right.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, North Jacksonville Complete Dentistry with Doctors Johnson and Baxter. They'll have all your dental needs covered, located conveniently on Dunn's Avenue in Jacksonville. Call Dan Baxter at 904-751-4958 and mention On the Spot and get 10% off.
Is that right?
That's right.
Goodness gracious. If you would like to become one of our sponsors, all you got to do is call John Probst at 904-782-7101 or email the DOR team and the OTS team at onthespot32091 at gmail.com. And now it's time to get started with our show. We start off, as always, Mitchell, with our prayer, our pledge, and patriotic quote of the week.
That's right.
So, if we can bow our heads, please, and let's start off with a prayer. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day, dear Lord. Thank you for just letting us wake up to another day of this world, dear Lord. Thank you for just blessing our country, blessing the people that live in it, dear Lord. I know we've got this coronavirus thing, dear Lord, and you are the ultimate healer. You can make this all go away, dear Lord. All the people's got to do is just believe in you, pray to you, and this will all go away. We want to also thank you, dear Lord, for the food that we receive each and every day, that it goes into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Any spoken or unspoken prayer request, dear Lord, please touch each and every one of them, dear Lord. You know what's in their mind and in their hearts, dear Lord. You're the ultimate healer. You're the ultimate wisdom, dear Lord. You can bring peace to all those people. Dear Lord, anybody that's passed away here from this virus or any other illness, dear Lord, please touch them and their families, dear Lord, as they go through this difficult time. We want to thank our show team members and our sponsors for letting us bring the information to all of our viewers, and our viewers take that information and discern it however they need to, dear Lord. Again, thank you again for just letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, the United States of America, and our armed forces, dear Lord, helping to keep our nation as free as possible, dear Lord. Thank you again for everything that you do. Keep a hedge of protection over us as we go throughout the rest of the work week, and we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says,
Amen.
Amen. Let us stand for the pledge. I'll lead it off tonight. I'll pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. All right. Got a couple of quotes tonight since Mr. Bagwell is not here. All right. And I'll let y'all guess who wrote these, all right? Tonight's quote for the show is, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. So we make a living by what we get, but we make a life, by what we give. Who said that?
Churchill.
Yes. How about that? Winston Churchill. All right. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. One of our founding forefathers said that.
Thomas Jefferson.
No.
Huh?
Benjamin Franklin will be absolutely correct,
Yeah.
David. You are absolutely right. So our show quotes of the week, 1 and 1. How about that? Y'all did a really good job there. And then I've got some more information that I'll come to here in just a second. But first, as always, I want to welcome y'all into the show. My name is David Rodgers. I'm your show host. To my right here is Mr. Mitchell Gunner. To my right over here, behind the scenes, is Super Daredevil Holland. I don't say that 4 times real fast to see what you get. But Dave Holland is producing our show tonight. We got Mr. Michael Heater. He's at work tonight. He's protecting us right now, working dispatch. We got Roger the Tornado Cruz and Austin Storm Chaser Stevens on a little special assignment. And Mr. Bagwell is working on something that's really critical, and he'll be here to join us here in just a little bit. And we've got John Probst down south taking care of some things for us down south.
And I'll tell you, it's really hard for Roger Cruz right now, being part of the sports team, helping us get information when there is none. Sports.
You know, I thought about doing this, guys, and just writing sports and leaving it blank.
I tell you what.
But there is some things going on, though. So, yes there is. And I'm going to get into that.
You're going to get into the NASCAR thing?
No, I'm going to let you get into the NASCAR thing.
All right.
I'm going to get into, you know what's still happening? Just real quick for everybody, before we get to the quick and dirty. We still got the NFL draft coming up. They're still going to do that.
Yep.
And free agency is going like a big dog right now. Yep. So, and also the Olympic Committee, they want to postpone the Olympics till next year, but that's still in question right now. So we've got a lot of things to talk about. And of course, if you've been living in another galaxy, or you've been under a big old Plymouth Rock or something like that, well, the main thing that's going on right now is this coronavirus, and it's taken over our everyday lives. And, we're going to get into that as well, as we got some information on that locally, regionally, and statewide and national-wide, Mitchell, so nationwide and worldwide even at that. So definitely like for y'all to comment on this. We definitely want you to hear your opinions. We'll try to answer the questions as best as we can. If we don't have the answers, Mitchell, like we always tell everybody, we'll try to get it. Well, and that's exactly right. So, excellent move there. All right. So, here's your quick and dirty for this Tuesday night, sponsored by Austin's Weather Service. Contact Austin's Weather Service on Facebook for your up-to-date forecasts. All right, the town of Cedar Key in Levy County is restricting entry into the island in response to the coronavirus threat. As of today, only residents, business owners, and employees are allowed access over Bridge 4. So make sure you understand that. Well, no new reservations or tourist visits are permitted. All city boat ramps and fishing piers are closed as well. And it's probably a good thing, Mitchell, because you know what? You're seeing beaches closed.
That's right.
You're seeing parks closed. Because, people ain't following the social distancing, protocol, the social distancing rule. Hey, that's not a rule that we made up. That's a rule the CDC made up and the WHO made. It's not our rule.
And the thing is, with a lot of kids out of school right now, that's ruined their chances for a family to go to the beach and try to enjoy a day, because a bunch of knuckleheads want to get 50 or 60 people together.
Yes.
And not practice that distance.
Yeah, and you hit it right there on the head, Mitchell. So I'll let you read this next one.
All right, Stark police arrest a Stark resident after he assaulted his girlfriend with a frying pan this afternoon. Police said the male struck the female in the face on Thompson Street, and she ran off, flagging down a passing cop.
Wow, that is crazy, isn't it? Gee, Manetti. So Bradford expected to follow suit. A countywide burn ban has been issued for all of Alachua County due to the COVID-19 state of emergency. Bradford is expected to follow suit, so you may want to look for that real soon, particularly because of the rash of recent trash fires. Although grills and cookers are still permitted, it is important to watch for embers and flying sparks. Just takes a quick second, Mitchell.
Well, since we're talking about fire real quick, talking about Alachua County with their countywide ban, now this prohibits all burning outside that has not been permitted by the forestry department. So, so if you go get that permit, you can still burn. And this includes that you cannot use any type of fireworks, sprinklers, flares, pyrotechnic devices, except for public display that have been permitted by the county.
Wow.
So there's still some things that can be done, but you have to get the right permits. You just can't go out there and say, hey, guess what?
Right.
I want to build a fire in my backyard. And we're just going to have a
marshmallow roast.
Yeah, marshmallow roast. So you can't do that. So
good deal. A truck driver was seriously injured Sunday night when the semi he was driving was involved in a crash with another semi on I-95 near Lake City. Wow, you're always hearing about these crashes and these wrecks on I-75, and it's just one of those roads, man, that just gets bad luck all the time. There's a lot of traffic flowing north and south, and, it's going to happen,
In the crash, it shut down the southbound lanes of Interstate 75 for nearly 4 hours. One person was seriously injured, and 30 gallons of diesel fuel and 10 gallons of motor oil was released due to the collision. So what a big mess to have to clean up.
And we found out who Mitchell's long-lost great-great-great-grandfather is. Drum roll, please, David. None other than fill in the blank, please. Well, I've got it. You know who it is? I was going to be nice to Mitchell until he played a joke on me about 10 minutes ago. So, ladies and gentlemen, in our viewing audience, we are 99.95% sure, with the help of Maury Povich, thank you, Maury, and some deep research from our esteemed colleagues, that your long-lost great-great-great-grandfather and also his brother, you know who it is? Benedict Arnold.
Oh, Lord.
You're a Benedict Arnold. How about that for tonight?
I don't think so. I'm too much of a lookout.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, you played a great trick on me.
Paul Revere,
Well, I was going to put Paul.
Man.
It was Paul Revere until you did that to me. Oh, we love Mitchell. We always flick around, don't we, Mitchell?
That's it.
All right. Before we get to Mitchell's segment, let me get into Austin's weather service. We got some weather here. Mostly clear in the evening. They're becoming partly cloudy. That's for tonight. Low 63 to 67. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, Mitchell, breezy, partly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. We really need that.
We need it. We don't need the lightning, but we do need the rain.
Yes, we do. Highs 86 to 90. I'm liking that, and I'm going to tell you why I like that. Because of the coronavirus, baby. The hotter it gets, hey, the less this thing is it's going to die. So that's a good thing. West winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. That's a good, with gusts to 30 miles an hour. The wind was gusting pretty good tonight, by the way. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, lows 59 to 64. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, shifting to the northwest after midnight. Thursday, partly cloudy, highs 83 to 87. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night day, partly cloudy, lows 60 to 64. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then Friday, partly cloudy, highs 88 to 92. Friday night, mostly clear, lows 60 to 64. And then Saturday, mostly sunny, highs, listen to this, 90 to 95. Saturday night, mostly clear, lows 63 to 67. And that forecast was issued at 6:20 today by Austin's Weather Service, and that is local here. U.S. Weather Outlook, threat for severe storms and flash flooding across the Tennessee Valley. Boy, they don't really need much more of that. Severe storms and flash flooding are possible into tonight across portions of the southeastern United States and the southern Appalachians as an area of low pressure moves into the region. Cold air continuing to push it into the western states will continue to produce heavy mountain snows. How about that? The mountains are still getting snows. Finally, elevated to critical fire weather threats continue across the southern high plains and the Four Corners. Forecast for Pascagoula, Mississippi and surrounding areas. Tonight, partly cloudy, lows 66 to 70. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy, highs 83 to 88. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear, lows 60 to 63. West winds to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, you're going to get partly cloudy in the morning, then clearing, highs 84 to 90. East winds 5 miles per hour, shifting to the south in the afternoon. Thursday night, partly cloudy, lows 63 to 67. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy, highs 83 to 87. Friday night, partly cloudy, lows 66 to 70. And Saturday, for that region there, is going to be partly cloudy, highs 83 to 87. And Saturday night, partly cloudy in the evening, becoming mostly cloudy, a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms for those guys on Saturday, lows 64 to 67. Want to thank Austin's Weather Service for providing us the latest and greatest weather report. Austin does a good job for us and brings a lot to the table. And also, he's going to be working with our local sheriff department and the EOC during the hurricane season. So congratulations to you, Austin. Now we're going to go on to some local news here. Mitchell's segment is sponsored by North Jacksonville Complete Dentistry. Call Dan at 904-751-4948 and mention the show, and you'll get 10% off your visit.
That's right. Get those grills looking right.
Yeah, let me see your grill. Hey, you got them. All right. Very good. All right. That works. Oh, boy. All right, Mitchell, what you got for us, buddy?
Well, first of all, I want to let everybody know that we had an increase this morning when the Florida Health Department released the numbers for the state of Florida. We had 185 new cases at 11 a.m.
Right.
But later on this afternoon, we have not got any updated totals, so we're still at 1,412 cases for the state of Florida, and still only one case in Bradford County.
Right.
Alachua County is still at 37. So we'll see if those numbers change.
Right.
Come tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. That's when they do the updates, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. And hopefully there's no increases, or if there is, let's hope they're starting to slow down. And we're starting to get to that point where we can start flatlining out. And so we can get back to some real normalcy about our everyday lives. Go ahead and let y'all know if you see something on the internet and you want to make sure if it's true or not. The Sheriff's Department has set up a rumor hotline. The telephone number is 904-368-3943. Also, there's a senior citizen hotline. Telephone number 904-368-3955. And, of course, your health department here in Stark is 904-964-7732. If you have any questions. Get to Cedar Key. Cedar Key is undergoing a lockdown at this time, starting today, March the 24th. Only townspeople are allowed. They're making everyone else that don't live there to leave, and this order is going to be in place for 7 days.
Right.
And this is their way of hoping they can keep the coronavirus from spreading in their neck of the woods. In Jacksonville, Marilyn Curry of Jacksonville said today, March 24th, all businesses within Duval County that has employees that have worked from home shall be allowed to do so. And if they cannot, they must practice the distancing from each other at the workplace. So he stated that we don't have a flattened curve, that you could see more federal and state curfews go into place. And I know no one wants that. Also, let everybody know this is out of the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. Be aware there's a scam going on. It's like a 9-second voicemail that they leave on your telephone, and it's from a lady named Barbara H., and she says that she is from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. Please, do not give them any information whatsoever. As soon as you start hearing it, hang up, and then record whatever number that you see that pops up there, and you can record that to the Sheriff's Office. There's a lot of other scams going on as well. They say down south there's people dressed up and saying they're from the CDC to try to get into your house, probably to see what kind of collectibles that you have or items for them to later on come back and rob you. CDC does not show up to your house like just out of the blue. So if you see that, lock your doors, call your local law enforcement, and have them come out and take a statement from you. And so hopefully these people can be caught and put in jail.
And if the CDC comes to your house or to your area, they're going to be escorted by who? U.S. Marshals, the FBI, ATF, local law enforcement. So if you don't see anybody like that along with these so-called CDC guys, then you know it's probably a scam. Don't open your door. Hey, they can knock all they want. Don't let them in, right? They'll eventually go away. And if they keep doing that in the neighborhood, they'll just eventually leave out of there. So, but yeah, please don't answer your door. Don't put yourself in harm's way.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of these schemes, they use scare tactics.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
And Bradford County's not going to call you and scare you.
No, not at
They're
all.
going to come to your door.
Yeah,
Right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and a lot of these scams are a lot of phishing. They're wanting a social security number or they're wanting a credit card number. Please don't give them out information like that. Just hang up the phone and move on.
That's it.
That's the best way
That's
to do
the best
it.
way to do it.
Also, I want to let everybody know all Florida state parks closed on Monday,
Yep.
March the 23rd. This is again is to help with the spread of the coronavirus. In Jacksonville, a man snatched a baby from a woman on the north side
Heard about that.
and drove off. JSO responded to the 2400 block of Smyrna Avenue. This is a local area near Lim Turner. A witness told the officers that they saw the man and the woman arguing. The witness said the man took the child from the woman and tried to force her into the vehicle. The police described the guy being 5'7" and muscular built. The vehicle was a tan four-door Mercury look-like vehicle with a temporary tag. If you have any information, call JSO at 904-630-0500 or Crime Stoppers at 1-866-845-TIPS.
And that's all the report, right, Mitchell? Right?
Well, there's not really a whole lot
there's not a
going
whole
on.
lot going on. That's exactly right.
I wanted to reiterate that the city of Stark had a meeting today to discuss some things, and everything is the same as it was last Friday.
Right.
When we had the Q&A
Q&A
here,
question.
and also stay tuned because I think we're going to bring it back
This Friday at 5 o'clock.
So
That's right.
if you have more questions, please send them to us ahead of time by our email, or you can ask us while we're live.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we can't answer them right here, we'll find the people that will
definitely,
answer them, like we always say. Speaking of that, that was a great thing that we did last week on the spot with David Rodgers. We got the exclusive on that, and we were able to bring it to a lot of people. Mitchell, at any one time, we probably had 220 to 240 people live. And they was asking questions. You heard all our elected officials pretty much were here and got up and spoke. Anybody, city officials as well, and anybody with an important job title was here to try to answer any of your questions. From Stacy Creighton with the schools. I know there was a lot of questions about that. Teresa Phillips was here. I mean, Terry Vaughn was here. I could keep naming them. And I want to thank everybody for coming in and doing that. We're going to do it again this Friday since it was such a big hit. So Friday at 5 o'clock right here from the same building that we're at. Me and Mitchell Gunner, Dave Holland, and hopefully Mr. Byron Bagwell can join us. We'll be here on a question and answer period with our elected and city elected officials from the county and the city, and some important people as well. So that's got some.
You bring up the school board to let everybody know those free lunches and everything will start back on Monday of next week. And please take advantage of it. This is something that needs to be done as much as possible if you can take your kid. And hey, you won't have to come in here to the high school to get those lunches. If you live over in Brooker, you can pick them up in Brooker. If you live over in Laudy, you can get them from Laudy Elementary, Southside Elementary, Stark Elementary, and etc. And what this does, by them going ahead and keep on getting the free lunches, we'll keep that federal money coming in to provide free lunches for all children here in Bradford County, and we don't want to lose that.
Right.
And also next Monday, your kids can start picking up their packets from the school, so they can continue on their education and keep their grades going.
Right.
Just to remind everybody, there is no test. The tests have been thrown out the window.
Right.
So they're going to go off of grades themselves. To determine if your child passes or is held back. So.
And I want to say this, if any of our seniors are watching or any parents that has any seniors that are watching, I want to say that I'm very sorry that, this thing has come upon us. I know this is not our problem. We know where this problem stemmed from, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But for our seniors this year, that's going to miss prom, that's going to miss their grad bash. I'm not sure what they're still going to do on graduation yet. That's still to be determined.
Right. Well, I'm hoping
maybe this
they can just push everything back. And those seniors are still able to participate in those type of events. Yeah. It really stinks when your child is looking forward to this all their childhood to graduate and have these opportunities. And, right now we're kind of in limbo of what we're going to do. It's really bad, and I imagine it creates a little bit of anxiety for those seniors. Yeah. Hey, I'm not going to get to do this. I'm not going to get to do that, and it's kind of emotional letdown. So let's hope we can still do something for those kids. If it's throw them a dance downtown or something, anything for them to let them celebrate.
Well, and when we were just speaking, you were speaking about lunches and continuation of schools and what we just talked about, grad bash and the prom being canceled, and still not sure on graduation. I'm sure Stacy will get into that with Sherry Alvarez on Friday. But, all the spring sports have been canceled, everything. Right. So the seniors that were playing or supposed to play in their final seasons in either baseball, softball, track and field, anything like that, that is done now. Now the juniors that are coming up to be seniors, especially i.e. football, won't have a spring football practice or a football game. So if this settles down, we're just going to start in the fall like we normally do. So you're not going to get that extra practice time.
And know what's so bad about those sports being canceled? Because you have a lot of seniors that are playing basketball or running track, girls softball, guys baseball. Right. And this is their senior year, so they're trying to make a good impression of trying to get a scholarship to one of these universities. And it kind of makes me wonder what is going to happen. Because these university programs, they are shut down as well.
They are.
And it kind of leaves a big question mark up there. And I tell you, your senior year of sports, you want to do your absolute best to try to get those opportunities. I mean, I was reluctant. I had those opportunities. I just didn't go. But I want these kids to be able to have that opportunity if they want to go that next step in sports and education at the same time.
Yeah, so. And like I said, but first, before we get in any more, of course, as always, I want to make sure we get to our viewers here. Anybody that's tuning in right now, thank you for tuning in to On the Spot with David Rodgers. We're going to go the full 2 hours. We're going to go the full 2 hours on
I saw that.
I saw that too. We're going to go the full 2 hours tonight, or close to it anyway, because we got a lot of information to get to. Well, but we want to thank you.
I actually got one thing I want to mention.
Right.
And I was told by someone this happened today at Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie opens their doors from 8 to 9.
Yes.
For senior citizens to come in and do their shopping.
Right.
And this person went into Winn-Dixie and said there's 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, kids running around in there, and come on, people. Yeah. Let these men and women that are elderly get in there and grab the items that they're going to need. They're not going to, trust me, they're not going to take all the toilet paper.
No, they got 1 hour to shop, and that's their 1 hour.
Let them get their 1 hour.
Let them get their 1 hour.
Let them relax, not have to worry about being ran over by somebody with a buggy that's trying to grab everything out of the store. So please, be respectful.
Be respectful.
And give them that time.
So I want to welcome into White Allen, Dorothy Starling. Dave, if we can get some of those comments there. Weather Service, good evening. Austin's Weather Service, how about that? Dwight Allen commenting on that. Tammy, hello, how are you? Archie, Patricia, thank you for joining us. Marie, thank you for joining us. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for all you do. Prayers for you and your family to stay safe through all this mess. Thank you very much, and we really appreciate that.
My wife says I'm too mean to get sick.
Oh, boy. Yeah, well, that's contrary to popular belief. Tom Bailey says he lives in Alabama. He says the city of Birmingham is shut down. Let's see. This is a waste of good Skittles from Bart. Orlando is on lockdown starting Thursday. according to Connie. Is that right? Okay. Did you
A
hear
lot-
about that?
I haven't heard about it, but Alachua
Yeah.
County, they're pretty much on a lockdown, except for essential personnel. Those that work at stores,
Right.
work for the county, and warehouses and stuff like that. They're wanting people to stay home as well there.
Yeah. So, Noah, thank you for joining in, and your great-grandfather is Robert E. Lee. How about that, huh? I'd like to see the proof on that one. Let's see. Mitchell, does anyone out there think this? With all the businesses and unemployment people and the stimulus checks that might be paid to everyone affected, how do you feel our country will be financially in the near future? Just curious question. It crossed my mind.
Well, to tell you the truth, there's no such thing as a free lunch. I had a teacher that taught me that, Mr. Harris. He taught there at the Bradford High School.
Yeah.
And I tell you, we're going to have to pay it back in some form
Yes,
or
we are.
fashion, or it's going to be on our kids. But I do think it's kind of the right thing to do to stimulate the economy, to keep it rolling. Because I tell you, you give people money, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to spend it. And so I'd just be glad when they get everything hammered out up there in Washington, D.C. If you haven't heard that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, they have tried to slide in some extra stuff in that bill to get it passed. Something to do with windmills and jet planes and all kinds of other garbage. And we're at a time that we have people sick and we got an economy that is hurting. This is not the time and place to start to try to do all that crap in a bill. If they want something done, won't the Democrats create a daggum bill in the House on those subjects and then have it debated there on the House, and if it passes, let it go on to the Senate.
Right.
Quit trying to sneak stuff into these bills. The American citizens, we are sick and tired of it. It is just plumb out garbage, and I hope when people go to the polls in November, they'll get their lesson.
Yeah, they will.
I hope they learn their lesson and they get booted out of those seats. Because I'll tell you what, we had several Democrats up there on the left side there that seen it the same way as Republicans did.
Yes.
And they were working all these plans out and everything was going great until Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer wanted to throw all this garbage in the bill.
I think this bill was going to pass until all that happened there.
And there's Democrats on that side that disagrees with what they tried to do.
Right.
Which is a good thing.
Because you know what? At the end of the day, as many times as I've said this on the show since this has all came about, this, ladies and gentlemen, is not a political issue. This is not a political issue. It's not a Democratic versus a Republican issue. It's not a black versus white. It's not a religious issue. It's a human issue. We have a virus that is a pandemic that is spreading all over this world and now all over our country and into our states and into our counties. And we have to work together to get this fixed instead of making this a political issue right now at this particular point when we're trying to save lives, not only worldwide, but in our country as well and in our states and in our communities. So people, let's quit making this a political issue. I'm talking to all of our government officials nationally, statewide, if that's happening there, countywide, citywide. Make sure that you are working for us and not us working for you. You should be out there.
Right.
You should be out there pounding the pavements, figuring out how we are going to fix this coronavirus problem. And if we keep doing this political, we want this and we want that because we're about power struggles and things like that, we are not going to get jack nothing fixed. Right. And we're going to be sitting here 3 and 4 months later going, what in the heck is going on as the stock market has tanked?
Right.
And now, we're still fighting this thing. People aren't getting well. Why? Because we're worried about political issues at this point.
Right. We're worried about windmills.
Windmills, yeah. We're worried about
like
that.
Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz said there on the Senate floor, what in the heck does windmills have to do with a stimulus package?
Right.
You know, it's for the people, and I tell you, it's got me really ticked
Think,
off.
think about
Hey, I
who's
tell you
hurting.
what, if you're really mad about it, go to my Facebook page. I've got Nancy Pelosi's phone number on my Facebook page. Call and burn her phone line up.
Wow, you put that on your page?
I sure did.
Wow.
I shared it from somebody else's.
Okay.
Call and tell her, hey, this is so disrespectful for the citizens of the United States. And I'm reading a statement from Archie down there about, that it was for people
Anybody.
that made below $75,000 a year, and that is correct.
That is correct.
But
Yep.
if you really see the ones that are also suffering is the small businesses.
Yes.
They're struggling real bad, and you think about their employees. I tell you, all the salons in Gainesville, they're shut down.
Oh, sure.
There's no hair salons
Nope.
in Gainesville operating.
Right.
Gainesville looks dead.
Yes.
You know how hard it is to find a parking spot on the side of the road right downtown on Main Street and University in that area?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you can just pull in a parking spot with no problem right now.
Yeah.
That's how shut down Gainesville is.
Yeah, I seen a overhead picture, Mitchell. They were showing it on the news, where, like the Skycam
Right.
traffic. Man, there wasn't hardly no traffic at all, man. You get to point A to point B in no time right now.
Well, I went to Taco Bell today for lunch, and right across the road from there is Human Resources for the University of Florida. Parking lot totally empty. All those folks are working from home.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
And to speak about how much money that you're supposed to be getting back on that stimulus, I think if you have a household of 4, 2 adults and 2 children, I want to say it's $3,000. I think it's $1,000 per adult and $500 per child.
I think you're right. It's between $3,000 and $3,400 because I
Right.
thought I've been hearing $1,000 to $1,200 for an adult.
Right.
So
and they
yeah.
may
Yeah.
that may be part of the negotiations that are going on now. To me, there shouldn't be no negotiations. I think it's pretty much black and white.
Right.
Mitch McConnell, he's the one that drew up one of the bills, and he's very frustrated. I watched him also yesterday, and buddy, he was getting them a downright ear chewing.
Yes, he was.
From the Senate floor.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he was doing that for the American people.
Yeah, and this is again, this is about us. This is about the American citizen. This is about the people that go to work every day that need help. Look at all the people right now, Dave, that are unemployed. Hey, all these sporting events that got canceled, how about all these concessionaires, all these people that work these events, the security, everybody? They're laid off,
they're
man.
laid
There
off.
is nothing going on. All these people that work concerts.
Well, I got a friend. That,
Vegas. How about Vegas? Vegas is
right.
pretty much shut down. I mean, come on.
right.
Shut Vegas down.
I got a friend that works for one of the dealerships over in Gainesville. He got laid off today. So they're even laying off staff
Right.
at car dealerships.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's everywhere. I'm lucky that I work for a county entity that I've got a job every day. And I tell you, I feel so bad for these families that don't, because you know what? At one time, I was there.
Sure.
I always didn't work for the state or for
Right.
a county entity. I've also worked for out on the private sector, and hey, I've been there, and it really stinks.
I work for the private sector. Here's the difference with me. Department of Homeland Security, if y'all guys don't know, didn't know this, and I'll give you a little background. Mitchell probably already knows it. Anybody in the steel industry, that is an essential need for the United States of America.
Right.
So if you produce steel or you manufacture with anything with steel, it's to help our infrastructure of buildings, ships that we build, airplanes. So we are an essential part. So if let's just say if the Governor DeSantis comes down and says, "Hey, the state is shut down,"
Right.
guess what? I'm going to work because I'm an essential party, because I work for a steel company. You're going to work because you're part of an essential package as well. So, but if you don't have to go to work and you're not, you know what I mean? You're not in a part of an essential, stay home. Stay home and do the right thing. Do what the CDC, do what the WHO tells you, and keep yourself safe. Keep your family safe. You, ladies and gentlemen, don't know who has this virus.
Right.
It could be anybody. Hey, you may not show the symptoms for a while, but you could be a carrier, and you get around somebody that's sick or has symptoms of something else, you could easily give this to them. And I urge you, if you don't have to be on the roads, like I said, necessities, grocery shopping, going to get some medicines or something like that, please, folks, please stay at home. This is a great time. And I wanted to say this, Mitchell, and I think you mentioned it before. This is a great time to bond with your family.
Oh, definitely.
To bond with your,
go outside.
Go outside and play ball, kickball, or whatever with your kids, because I'm telling you right now, you don't get too many opportunities to be able to do this. And what is the most precious commodity, ladies and gentlemen, that anybody has, and that's time. Once time goes, time is gone. I mean, you're not going to be able to get the time back. Once me and Mitchell do this show, we're not getting this time back. You know what I mean? This time is come and gone, and I just seen that, and I'm glad you were popping that.
I'm sorry, but they finally did post the numbers to FloridaHealth.org. At beginning, after this morning, we were at 1,412 cases.
Yeah.
It has gone up a little bit, not as big as the number as it did this morning, but right now we're at 1,467 cases, and that is 1,379 for residents in Florida and 88 for non-residents. And so far we have had 20 deaths, and they are monitoring 1,297.
So that's just in the state of Florida, and I'm going to give you some worldwide numbers here in just a minute. But and that's a great update, Mitchell. I appreciate it. And I seen you looking over there, and I was like, yeah, I seen that number click too.
You don't tell me to look out for nothing.
That's it. And look at here. I was just looking at this. Let me give you worldwide numbers, ladies and gentlemen, on these coronavirus cases. Coronavirus cases worldwide, 420,718. Total deaths is 18,800. Recovered is 108,323. Active cases, currently infected patients, this is worldwide numbers now, 293,595. In mild condition, 280,333 of them. That's 95%. In serious or critical condition, 13,262, which is about 5% of that number. Here's the closed cases, which is a good number. Closed cases, 127,123. Recovered or discharged, 108,323 of them. That's about 85% of that number. And unfortunately, deaths, we've got worldwide, Dave, 18,800 deaths, which is about 15% of that number. So it is killing people, ladies and gentlemen. But if you look at the demographics of the people that it's killing the elderly, it's killing the people that's got some kind of already respiratory infection, some kind of illness already, fighting cancer, fighting liver, pancreatic, anything like that. That's who, if they're getting it, their immune system is not healthy enough to resist that. So that coronavirus right now is attacking their body, and it makes it. What I've heard is really hard to breathe.
Right.
So
and with those numbers going up, to go ahead and let you know, we still only have one case in Bradford County, and Alachua County is still holding at 37.
Yeah.
Union County still has zero cases.
Yeah.
So they're doing pretty well. And I tell you, when
Lake City has 3.
Right. Clay County has 10.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to scroll through here and just get a couple of them. Columbia, 3.
Right.
Just trying to grab a couple of the ones that are close.
As Mitchell is doing that, if you have any questions, ladies and gentlemen, please ask us right here. We'll read it off for you. I want to thank everybody for joining. I seen Lucy, Sandy, Chrissy, Robert, Matt. Thank you all for joining On the Spot with David Rodgers. This is the live Facebook interactive show. This show is also on YouTube as well. So you can check that out on YouTube after this show is done. But tell your friends all about this. This is the show where we can bring you the information as early as possible and as accurately as possible. Right. And that was the other thing that I wanted to get into. Somebody keeps asking me about this person that's been affected by I would love to share this information with you, but we can't.
No, HIPAA.
HIPAA law prohibits us from doing that. So until somebody else comes and does that, on the spot with David Rodgers is not going to do that because we're not going to put anybody out there and for embarrassment sakes as well, but you shouldn't be embarrassed about anything, but for embarrassment's sake and also for the sake of their family. Maybe a lot of their family and stuff still don't know yet. You know what I mean? So all that information's got to be privied, and that's why we have not put out any information on that. We do know it's a male, 69 years old, and hopefully I haven't gotten an update on him yet. I was going to ask about that.
Keep him in your prayers.
Prayers, yeah. So we're hoping that he's recovering fully. So definitely want to make sure that we're keeping him in our prayers.
Right. And another county that's real close to us, and we have a lot of our citizens drive over there to work, is Duval, and they're at 50 cases. And looked at Dixie County. Dixie County has 0. Flagler has 4. Just kind of give you an idea. But when you start getting into the bigger cities, that's when your numbers really start to climb. Like Hillsborough is up to 95 cases. So,
yeah, we're going to push this table up here just a little bit so we can see what's going on now. Maybe I may take off my glasses. There we go. So anyway, let me answer a question that I just got right here. The reason we're so close together, I know we should be practicing social distancing and 6 feet apart, but when you come in this, Dave Holland will tell you, Mr. Byron Bagwell will tell you, Mr. Mitchell Gunner will tell you, we got screened.
That's right.
Hey, we got our temperature taken. They asked us all the series of questions. So we do not have this right now at this time. And
hope we don't
we don't get it. But they're screening everybody that comes in here, so we feel safe sitting with each other. Plus, our camera right now, the one that we're using, can't get us on a wide angle at this point. We're working on that, but we just want to let you know that it is. We have been screened, and we're all good. So me and Mitchell, I'm not going to hug and kiss on Mitchell, but I don't mind sitting close to you, Mitchell. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't let you hug and kiss on me anyway.
I wouldn't want to do that either. That'd look weird for the show, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So
my wife might get jealous.
Austin, we talked about that a little bit. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that on the graduations. We did talk a little bit about that. Maybe Miss Stacy Creighton will update us on the Bradford side of it. I believe Clay County's probably in the same direction since they got cases over there as well. That they're going to figure out what's going to happen with graduation. But I'm assuming that their spring sports are all canceled, just like ours are. Grad bash and of course the prom. That's not going to happen.
I'm actually going to look up and see how many cases they actually do have.
Could you go back, Dave, just real quick? Somebody asked about that. Let me see right here. You would think that things like Grad Bash would only be postponed because even the parks that they would be held in are closed. And that's exactly right, Carlton. Here's the problem. If the longer that all this goes on, now you're getting into another school year. Let's say this lasts until mid-August, late August, September. Now you've rolled over into another school year. So how long can you keep postponing it? Right. That's going to be the thing there. Eventually, somebody will have to make a determination if these events will be canceled. So I'm going to assume, as far as we're concerned, that these are pretty much canceled. So,
and Clay County has 10 cases at this time.
Yeah. Let's see, Dave. Just if you could go back just a little bit. I'm sorry, my man. Appreciate you. Go back just a little bit. Right there. Cedar Key is on a lockdown, by the way. Yep, we read that, and that's exactly right. I just want to make sure I didn't miss that. Connie says her sister lives in Orlando. She told before the show started that they was going to be on a lockdown. You're welcome, Marie. We try to do the best we can. We try to answer the best we can, but that only equals the slush fund for big corporations. I'm going to assume you're talking about the stimulus package there. Carlton. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter where the money's coming. Just like Mitchell said, the American people need help. We get the money, and then we figure out how we're going to get it. We're going to get it paid back from whatever fund that they do take these monies from. So,
yeah, you always got to pay it back in some way or some fashion. It could be jumped on the back of your income
Tax,
They
right.
might change a little bit on your income tax and take a little bit more than what you usually get back. You might get less, what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So we'll just have to see when it gets here.
There was a question, Dave, just scroll by, but that's you don't have to go back, Dave. You don't have to go back. I seen it right there. It has already been. It's passed under national emergency. So, just about extreme measures as you can get. So I'm assuming some of that has been declared up underneath that. So Nancy might need to go.
Yes.
Well, hey, I just want to fix the problem right now. Then we can put these people out of seats. Once this is all done, then we can worry about it. But right now, we've all got to work together to make sure that this all happens. If we don't, then nothing's going to be done. And that curve that we're looking for, Mitchell, for this to spike down is never going to happen. You know why?
Right.
Because that number is going to keep growing, and it's going to grow over a long period of time, and it's going to take longer to make to get everybody well and back to working. So we need to get these things done very quickly. I know that President Trump and his staff and everybody at the CDC, the WHO, everybody and doctors that were in retirement are now coming out of retirement. I've seen that, trying to figure out what they can do to help. So we appreciate all those guys for sure. The Democrats will never pass that. This is why they're trying to slip them. Well, again, this is not a political issue right now. I get it. But we have to move forward and figure out, they got to figure out how they're going to get this money released so the American people, especially the people that's been out of work for a while, can make sure that they get what they need.
And talking about businesses in general, some businesses are learning how to survive.
Right.
And you know what? When these businesses go back to opening up their restaurants, so let's just say a restaurant, and right now they're doing pickup orders, or they're bringing you orders to your house, they might say, hey, this thing worked out really great.
Right.
And they got another touch of their business now that they can use. They can start delivering every day.
Every day.
And it might, in turn, give them more revenue for their business. So,
right.
Americans, we're really good at adapting to situations and making the best out of them.
Yes, we are.
So I think you're going to see a lot of changes to businesses and how they conduct their business in the long run. And I tell you what, I wouldn't mind calling up there to Chrissy and say, hey, I would like to give me a steak and potatoes.
Sure.
And y'all bring them out to my house.
Right along with the daiquiri.
I don't drink.
You don't.
No.
That's one thing I got to say about you. You don't. But that's all right. If you wanted one, you could get one.
That's right.
Just don't drink it till you get home. Cheryl Stevens, great, interesting point that you bring up here. Me and Mitchell and Dave will talk about this. You are witnessing the fundamental change of America. Yeah. Hey, that's a possibility. Hey, once this is over, you remember how 9/11? I want to, and I know 9/11 was horrible, and I don't want to make light of 9/11. But remember when 9/11 happened? What happened? We changed. We changed the way we travel. We changed about who we let in here, how they're let in here. And guess what? Now, all of a sudden, the Department of Homeland Security is created from that, right? And now they say, they're pretty much the enforcing as far as police is Department of Homeland Security. So, we changed from that point on. I think here too as well. I think we're gonna see how America is gonna change after all this is affected as well. After all this is said and done, and hopefully it will be said and done, I think you'll see a different America on how we manage supplies, medical supplies, medicines, things like that. Question for you guys. Do you know who manufactures 90% of our pharmaceuticals?
Mexico.
No.
China?
Yes, sir. 90% of our pharmaceuticals are manufactured in China.
That is correct.
We need to start manufacture our own or figure out another way to get our pharmaceuticals. But most of the pharmaceuticals are done over in China. And in particularly, Wuhan. That's the research and development center of China, is right there in Wuhan. So I did see somebody say about the Wuhan virus there. I said it. It's altogether a human issue. You're exactly right, Noah Gibson. The Wuhan virus, you can call it coronavirus, you can call it COVID, whatever you want to call it. The problem is I don't know. Again, here's my theory. My theory only. I'll let Mitchell and Dave, if they want to interject. Here's my theory. China was working with this thing. I know they're trying to blame us. Oh, a couple of American soldiers brought this over. No. We're not going there. That is wrong. Y'all did this, whether you released it purposely or unintentionally.
I tell you what.
For going population control, and I'll give you a chance. To populate control your country because you can't feed those 1.4 billion people that you got over there, or whether you released it as a biological weapon, no matter what, it's been released. Now, this thing, instead of an epidemic in your country, because remember I gave you the difference between an epidemic and a pandemic, now this thing is spread all across the world. Now it's a pandemic. Now, here we go. Now you've got everybody involved. Now, you can think what you want to think. I'd like to hear the audience's thoughts on that. I know Mitchell wanted to chime in on that. That's just my theory. I don't know, but I know that they was messing with it. And again, personally, I think they was trying to. Again, I'm not sure of this. I think they were trying to populate control their own country, and somehow it slipped out. Somebody, a researcher, scientist that was messing around with this thing, didn't know how to contain it. All of a sudden, instead of it being just in your country, now it's slipped out to the world, and now it's become a pandemic.
Yeah, and I really think, tell everyone who's watching and all Americans, if you don't think there's going to be repercussions on China, if they find out this is what happened,
yep,
you're barely mistaken.
Oh, yeah,
because there will be repercussions.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And,
now, if that's military, I don't know. But I tell you what, we will hurt their pocketbook. I can promise you that.
I can promise you if the United States, I'm just me personally, if the United States comes up with that vaccine and the cure for this, China gets nothing until they clear our books of everything. You get absolutely zero. You get nothing until you clear our books. You say we owe you all this money. You say we're in debt to you, which we are. I know that already.
Yes,
hey, you clear our debt, we'll give you the cure for the virus. Hey, anything below that, hey, you're on your own, pal. You know what I'm saying? Problem is they'll call in their marker. Then what happens when they start calling in their marker? Possibly could be a war. I mean, you don't want that, but possibly could be a war, and none of us definitely want to see that. Yes, who was that? Cheryl's, Miss Stevens? Yes, they're all ghost towns. If you look at all this, hey, most of these places are ghost towns. Hey, man, hey, when we leave here and we ride home, brother, the other night when we left,
there ain't very many cars on the road.
I seen 4 cars,
which is good
from here to Lottie, 8, 9, 10 miles where I live from here. 4 cars,
which is like, good
wow,
because
yeah.
That's what we want. We want people to try to stay at home as much as possible. Yeah. When I leave from here, I'm going straight to the house, and I'll get up in the morning and I'll go straight to work.
That's exactly right. And then guess where
right
you're going?
Back to the house.
Right. Unless we have this show, we're going to and fro because we're trying to obey what the CDC and everybody else has put out. Go home, stay away from people, keep your social distancing. You know what I mean? Use the 6-foot rule. Like I said, we're still working, and I just give you a prime example of how we're taking our breaks. Well, first of all, we're staggering our shifts 30 minutes apart. So everybody comes in 30 minutes apart. So they take their breaks 30 minutes earlier and that 30-minute intervals. So this is like my production area. We've got 6 picnic tables. There's one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. They're spread apart about 7 feet apart. And you got a guy that can sit here, a guy to sit in the middle, a guy to sit at the end. And that's the way all those tables are staggered. Because we're trying to keep the 6-foot rule into place. So just practice everything that they're telling you to do. Keep washing your hands. Make sure you sanitize your hands, wash your hands. Hey, what they say? Even some soap is better than some of the some of the hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer's quick fix. Yes, I agree. But you want to keep yourself clean at all times and just obey what the CDC is saying. Yes, Atlantic City was shut down, all because they had no chance at all for a win. Yep, so that's exactly right. Carlton Jones, school employees will be back to work on Monday. I do believe that is correct, but I believe that's limited, and we'll find out from Carlton Jones says that school employees will be back to work on Monday.
Yeah, there's going to be some school employees because they're going to have they're going to use Department of Transportation for the school to I think probably move those lunches around to all the other schools. I don't know if they're going to cook at one particular place and move stuff around.
Right.
You're going to have employees there to hand out the packets to the kids,
right?
For them to start doing their work. So yeah, you're going to have employees probably working, but for the most part, it's closed down. Pretty much like all your county buildings right now, you have people working here, but they're closed to the public. And if you need help with anything, you can call that particular office and they will help you.
Yeah.
They can actually, most of the business can be done online, especially with the tax collector's office. Like Ms. Teresa was telling us, hey, just give us a call and we'll help you walk you through it. So.
Shirley, yeah, you brought up a good point. Prayers go out to those people that lost their jobs for sure. And she said, tell everybody stay home. That's the best thing to do. If you don't have to go to work and you're not essential, just say, hey, you're going to stay at home. Things are going to be okay. And keep your social distancing from everybody. Stay with your family. This is, like I said, a great chance to bond with your family and spend some time with your kids because, we all live busy everyday lives when things are good. And sometimes we wish we had those times back. Like I said, the most important time is the most important commodity is time. So I'm trying to get to every one of y'all guys' comments. I'm sorry about that. Ellen, Anthony, thank you for joining us. Austin says, I understand everyone's taking precaution. I understand the safety in it. Of course, it's a safety issue. You don't want this thing to spread any more than what it's spreading. Right now, with no vaccine, no cure at this point, social distancing, keeping your hands clean, the 6-foot rule is the best thing that you could definitely do.
Well, I know we're not really on sports right now, but to go ahead and let you know, this thing is triggered so much, everything is shut down. And
sure.
You got racers from NHRA and NASCAR and IndyCar, and they're doing their own live blogs
sure.
on Facebook to stay connected to their fans. And I think that's really, really neat that they are doing that. And
just keep your mind off this virus every once in a while.
That's what they're trying to do is to touch base with their fans and give them something else to think about.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Lisa, thank you for joining us. Is Bradford County going to have a curfew? Good question, Patricia Baker.
Not at this time.
Not at this time. According to Sheriff Gordon Smith, Bradford will not have a curfew unless it's mandated by the state. And Mitchell Gunner just answered that. Good job, Mitchell. A little bump right there. So, yes, not at this time. Any unemployment info for the Manny being laid off to the virus? Good question, Judy. Right now, from a national standpoint, right now that hopefully that stimulus package is going to come through. I know that they're working on some kind of unemployment package at the national level. And at the county level, we're trying to work something out there in state.
Now, if you know someone that's laid off of work due to this, you can actually go to myflorida.com and it will give you a way through their little search bar to get you where you need to go to apply for unemployment. You can go ahead and apply. So if you've lost your job, go ahead and apply for that unemployment.
Right. So, yes. So I know it's being worked over, like I said, from the national level to the state levels to the county level. So, yes, if you've been affected, please go and do what Mitchell said, and you should be able to get some kind of help. Anthony Black said, what is the count in Leon County? Dave, did you get that?
8.
8. How about that? Mitchell was all over it right there. Tallahassee area, 8 right now, Anthony. That's not bad for a college town, really.
And go back to unemployment real quick. I just want to let everybody know, if you do file for unemployment, you do receive it. Your first week is not counted.
Correct.
So you would only get, when your first check comes in, you would only get paid for 1 week. And therefore, thereafter, it's every 2 weeks that you will get
That's a good point.
check. So.
Look at our co-host there. Byron says he's not going to make it. Good evening to you, Byron. You just take it easy out there. We've got you. We know that you'll be here Saturday, barring anything. Canada, question mark. Don't know the number in Canada now. I can probably find that out for you. Let's see. Ellen says, so agree, David. Absolutely, Ellen. Look, we're just trying to... We do this show because we love all of our residents and anybody in the regional area and the southern states area that is listening in and tuning into this. We try to bring you the information as best we can because sometimes, people, it's hard for people to get information. Some people don't have internet. Some people don't have social media networks. The only thing that they can get is maybe their local news if they have it or if they're hearing it from somebody. So we figured this is a great avenue for you to be able to get all that information. And we want you to tell all your friends and family members and other people to tune in to On the Spot with David Rodgers. And we have a great crew that works with us here. And again, we do this because we love our community. As you can see, what Mitchell Gunner's done over the last several months with some of the traffic things that are going on 100 and some of the other things. You also looked into the fire department to Mitchell as well, which is here or there right now at this point. But we love all you guys, and that's why we do our show. Yes, be safe, Byron, and it is the China virus. I like to call it the Wuhan virus because that's where it started from and it stimulated from. So make our own meds also. Yeah, absolutely. We need to. If we're relying on China to do that, right now you can see what's happened with this thing here. If they can let a virus like this go, what are they doing to our meds, or what are they going to do to our meds? Here's another thing right here too. China makes a lot of things. I work in a steel business where gloves are required, PPE. That's part of our protective personal equipment. And do you know who makes 95% of the gloves in the world? China. That's exactly right, 95% of them. 5% of the gloves are made in the USA. So once gloves run out that are made from China that aren't being sent over here, guess what? That's done because those 5% that are making gloves in the United States have got their own customers. Who are they going to take care of first? They're going to take care of their own customers first. And then they're going to outsource to whatever they have to the outside.
To supply the needs.
Correct.
They're only
The 5%. Yeah. Exactly. So you think about clothes and shoes and gloves and things like that. Most of that is made in Asia. Whether it's China, whether it's Taiwan, whether it's South Korea, whether it's North Korea, whether it's Cambodia, Laos, Thailand. Most of that stuff is made over there.
Americans are tired of that. They want to see made in USA.
Well, I agree with you, and that's exactly right, and that's what Ellen is saying. Hey, we need to keep making some of our own stuff here. You know what I mean? We need to get back to American-made, like you said. Yes, the government will never forget what they have managed to do to the citizens of America in just the past 2 weeks.
That's right.
Amen, sister. You said it.
To Noah's question, he was wanting to know the numbers in Canada.
Yeah.
The only thing that I could find on an article was they had researchers recruit 6,000 people who tested positive. So I don't know.
At least 6,000?
At least 6,000.
Wow. I do believe, check me out if I'm wrong, I believe Thailand has none. Yeah, I believe Thailand has none. But I may be wrong on that. A lot of our citizens can't afford medicine produced in China. How do you think they would be able to afford the ones made here? Well, that's, Carlton, that's a good question because we got to figure out a way where everybody can afford medicines right now. Pharmaceutical companies, I think, take advantage they're selling a lot of these pharmaceuticals when they sell them to hospitals and drugstores and to different pharmacists. We got to figure out a way that we can monitor that where everybody's not, all these pharmaceutical companies aren't getting rich. Because if you look at it, look at some of these big-time pharmaceutical companies. Guess what, Mitchell? They are making a boatload of dollars.
Noah, I'm sorry. I found another update, and this one's more true.
Okay.
Canada has 2,792 cases.
2,792.
So, and you were saying what country?
Thailand.
Thailand?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Bangkok. Don't say that 4
Thailand
times.
has 827 cases in Thailand.
I will be happy to talk about how many?
827.
Wow. So that information that I got was absolutely wrong, wasn't it?
Right. It says confirmed cases.
827. Wow.
Yep.
I will be happy to talk about how population control has ruined our country now. Well, there you go. And like I said, we can talk about that all day long, Noah. But right now, again, it's not about that. It's about trying to find a cure for this virus that we have right here. And all of us got to work together to do it. If we don't, like I keep saying, it's not going to happen. After what Nancy pulled her tyrannical nonsense, maybe we need to send her to China. There you go. Agreed, David, I think on purpose. Ellen, I appreciate that, Ellen. Thank you very much. What if 100 people get it that have diabetes or other illnesses like my wife that are going to die? So that analogy does not work. So go back to Bart's there real quick, Dave. I'm sorry. Bart, look, this virus is hitting people like your wife, Becky, that has diabetes, things like that, that she's suffering from each and every day, and other diseases as well. So, you're talking about a virus that can affect her, and you're right. What if 100 people get it that have diabetes? Well, hopefully that they'll get better, but you're right. I mean, I can't predict that because I don't know. It's the unknown about this virus that is the kicker of this whole thing. So, and maybe she won't. We pray that she won't. Maybe they could, if that's to happen, maybe we can get her to a hospital where she can get the help. And if her immune system is strong enough, maybe it will. Maybe she can cure herself. But I get what you're saying, and that's exactly right. We should not depend or be dependable on our own. Yes, and that's exactly right. I would like to see more of that, more enclosed stuff, like you said, made in the USA. Do you remember when Walmart was first created? Remember? What was their slogan? Made in the USA, baby.
Yep. And it was
made in the USA.
A 5 and dime store.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Made in the USA, made in USA. And all of a sudden, what? They got so big and so powerful, the USA couldn't make everything. So they had to outsource it. And when you outsource it to countries like that, they can do it cheaper. It's cheaper labor. So what happens? That maximizes profits for that company. So when they're just like any other company. And then they went away from that made in the USA slogan because people were going, oh, that's not made in the USA. That's really made in China. And people were starting to buy into it. So they had to take that monogram and that logo off because everything wasn't made in the USA. You go into Walmart right now and you can pick up some shoes that I guarantee you are made in China, Taiwan, Korea, somewhere there. I can guarantee you that. So in the USA, yeah, that's harder to find.
I don't see no cases in Greenland.
Maybe there you go. Okay, maybe that's what it was. Greenland. Okay, yeah, I've been to Thule, Greenland. I tell you what, that virus, I know it survives in colder weather. I don't know if it'd want to survive in that.
No, it's pretty chilly.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly, and that wind kicking across there is by minus 30 degrees. I can tell you about that. The Chinese owes me my classes, which is about $700. Send a check to the to them guys over there and see if they give that back to
President
you. Ever
Xi.
heard of group
Senator
immunity?
President
Yes.
Xi.
Yes, Byron Bagwell. I wish you were here tonight. Absolutely. Ever heard of group immunity? Yeah, I hear you. China has too much control in America thanks to corrupt politicians selling us out. Absolutely, Dwight Allen. This is where all this started from. Uh, you know, uh, Not only our politicians, sports stars too, man. Right. Oh, they think, everything was great in China, this and that. And, we made China sit on a pedestal. And now look what we've got. Now we've got a virus out here that's a pandemic spreading all over the world, spreading faster than we can dadgum cure it.
Right. And swine flu.
Swine flu.
Come from there.
Let's come from there as well.
N1H1.
N1H1. That's exactly right.
So,
Stacy, I need to ask you something if you're still on. I hope you're going to be here Friday. We had a few questions about some different things, and hopefully that you can clear those up. And if you can answer us right here. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the spot with David Rodgers, sitting here from the Sheriff's Office, the EOC room. Want to thank the Sheriff and his wonderful staff, the EOC staff, Lieutenant Raymond Schufert, Wendy Russell, all those guys that work here. They are phenomenal. This is a great place to host a show. Right along to my right is our producer, Mr. Dave Holland there. Dave, say hello to everybody, David.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Right here to my right is the local guru, the man himself, the lookout and the scout, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Say hello, Mitchell.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Missing tonight is Mr. Byron Bagwell, as he's got something to do there. Sometimes duty calls, and we have to go do our duty, and
That's right.
Byron is doing his. So do explain. I'm curious now. Okay, as far as what, Noah? Give me the question again. Video interrupted today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we're still on.
Yeah, we are.
All right, good deal. All right, video interrupted right there. So I'm going to tell you how to stop hoarding. All right. So I was reading through, through social media, catching up with some things, and I looked and I seen the great country of Denmark. Specifically Copenhagen, Denmark. And they said, this is how they have stopped their hoarding. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what are we hoarding up right now? Pretty much everything. But what was being hoarded up? Toilet paper and hand sanitizer, right?
Yep.
All right. Let's just take a bottle, and you can do this legally. Somebody's going to say, well, you can't do that because they're going to call it on you. I'm going to tell you how you can get away with this now. All right. Let's just take hand sanitizer is $4.99, right? Agreed. Let's just call it $4.99. $4.99 for a bottle of hand sanitizer. All right. If you want a second bottle of hand sanitizer, it's going to cost you for both of those bottles $99.99. Hey, I'm giving you your first bottle at $4.99. Right. If you want that extra bottle, you can pay extra for it. Everybody's going to say, well, what is that called? Your,
price gouging.
Yeah, price gouging. No, I'm not. I'm giving you your one. If you want the other one, it's just going to cost you a little more. That's all. It's not a big deal. I'm giving you one, right? Hey, if you want a pack of toilet paper, it's $6.99. It's not a problem. Hey, I'll even sell you a second one. The second one, if you want a package deal, it'll cost you $109.99 if you want a package deal. But I'm going to sell you the first pack at its regular price. I guarantee you that'll stop some gouging, won't it?
Yes, it will.
Yes, that sure will. And I bet you that can be done legally. Sheriff, can we do that legally? I think it can be done legally. Sheriff's on. Hey, we'll start some price gouging then. Hamburger meat? Yep, we'll give you that first 5-pound package for $12.99. If you want that second or third one, it'll be $229.99. Package deal for you. How about that? Yeah, we'll stop some price gouging then. How about that, huh? Yeah. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I guarantee you, they'll go, that dadgum David Rodgers store, we ain't visiting his store no more. Hey, he sold me the first one at the regular price, but if he said I wanted a second, third one, it was going to cost me $99.99. Yep, because that means you're going to have some that are being kept on the shelf. That's for everybody else, right?
No, it says price gouging.
It is not price gouging. What do you mean price gouging, Noah? I sold you the first one at its regular price. How can I be price gouging you, Dave? I sold you the first one at the regular price, right? Yep. If you want an extra one, it's just going to cost you a little more. Yep. That's all. It's going to cost you $94 more. That's all. So you get your one or maybe two after a 2 limit or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So I guarantee you, Denmark says they ain't got no price gap. They said they got plenty of stuff. You know why? Because they ain't going to pay those exuberant prices after they get that first one. Yep, that's what they've done. Let's do that. Gordon, I say that we do that. We start, it's not price gouging. It's just, hey, just beefing the price up a little bit. That's all. What do you think, Mitchell? Do you think that'll stop it?
Let's do it. I see the sheriff giving you a bunch of thumbs up there.
I guarantee you. Hey, then you don't have to place an employee there. You know what I mean? Well, now he could be stocking shelves like he should be instead of taking an employee sitting there going, yes, ma'am, you can have one sanitizer or two sanitizers. He or she could be doing the shelf up, put a big sign up there and go, hey, yep, you can have your Perel hand sanitizer for $4.99. If you want a second and third bottle, you can get the group rate, and that is $99.99, and you can get the group rate. How about that for you? Ladies and gentlemen, do you agree with that? I can tell you, man, that'll stop that gouging mess, won't it?
I got it.
Hey, can you imagine?
Come back and buy another bottle for $4.99.
Hey, as long as you go out there, you pay for the first one.
You go out the door.
You go out the door.
Come back.
Come back. Yeah, if it's there.
If you
Now.
want 20 of them,
Yeah.
out and in 20 times.
Out and in 20 times. That's right. Not one time, and you put it all in your buggy. You know what I mean?
I got Phil Jackson here. I've worked with him over there a lot.
What did Phil say?
He says, it's a great idea.
I'm telling you, man, that would definitely work. Hey, can you imagine? Hey, if somebody doesn't see that sign, let me just give y'all a scenario. Here they come up with 3 hand sanitizers. You put it up there on the thing. Ring, ring, ring. Didn't see the sign. Your grocery bill is $499.99. That person's looking, where in the heck did that come from? I only got a few things. Well, ma'am, you missed the big sign that was over at the hand sanitizer department that said you can get your first one at regular price, but those other 2 that you got just went from $4.99 to $199.99. Can you imagine that? Oh my God, there'll be a refund. There'll be a refund from hell. There'll be a refund from hell on that. Hey, get that out of my buggy. Put it back on the shelf.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you right now, that would work, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how much you could get away with that. Hey, I'm assuming Walmart can do what they want, right? If Walmart catches that idea, couldn't they do what they want?
I don't know.
I don't know if there's a national statute or business statute. Is there a business ethics or something like that? I know you could probably consider that price gouging. I know you could, but it really isn't because you're getting the first one what I told you would, right? Yeah. You're getting it at your price. It's just if you want the...
I'm laughing at Phil Jackson.
What did Phil Jackson say?
He says, and then refund them only $4.99.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and then refund them the $4.99. Don't refund them the other stuff. Yeah, because that's going to, hey, that other is going to help us get some more.
That's right.
But I guarantee you, that'll stop the price gouge. You ain't got to put nobody there. Hey, perfect idea. Wouldn't it? Hey, what do you think, Dave? Oh, my goodness. Oh, geez. Fish tank cleaner does not cure the virus. Yeah, there you go. Please ask the people to respect the designated time set aside for the elderly to shop.
Yes,
oh, yeah, Ellen, that's what he was saying.
I was just saying earlier.
Yeah.
I know Winn-Dixie is like from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And this particular person I know was in there, said you're not going to believe it, but there was people in there in their 20s and their 30s and kids running around. And
that's crazy.
And, that was their particular time to go in there and shop. So, come on, people, give them their moment to go in there and grab what they need for them.
Yeah.
Come on, be respectful of your elders. That's what I was always told.
Yes, that's exactly.
And I know the sheriff's always been told that too. And we know what happened when we disrespected an elder.
Oh boy!
We go find a switch off the tree and get our tails tore up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And if you come back with a small switch, they tell you to go get a big one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not too big.
No, not too big. That's because God's country is not the People's Republic of Alachua County. Only our esteemed colleague would say that. Where is Mr. Byron Bagwell anyway? He must be delivering. I know several friends that have been issued essential employee passes for being out on the roads. Are those for counties under lockdown and not yet necessary for Bradford County, or is that something that's in the work for the employees that are deemed essential? Great question, Judith, because I fall under that as well. And
of course
Bradford County is not under lockdown right now. Alachua County is not under a mandatory lockdown.
They're under a lockdown.
They are under lockdown.
Yes.
Okay. So, yes, you will have to have a pass from your work saying that you are an essential employee. And I'm sure you've got one, you know, and the letters from our company has went out as well. And then what's going to happen is make sure if your company has a sticker where you know you got to get in through a gate or whatever, make sure that sticker's on your car. Good question, Judith. Yes. And then when a officer pulls you over, all you got to do is show him that paper. And then if you're not doing anything else, drinking or driving or texting or anything like that, he's going to let you go on and go to work. But yes, great question, Judith. And I'm glad you asked that because we were going to get into that as well. So, y'all know, you've already been told and you already know who essential employees are right now. If you work in the medical field in any kind of circumstance, you got your letter too, or anything like that. The steel industry they're telling us that as well. And probably trucking companies, people that's got to keep goods and stuff moving on the road. Warehouses, things like that. You're going to be essential employees because we've got to keep the country rolling with goods to be put up on our grocery store shelves. So, yeah, you'll know who that is. But that's a great question, Judith. Yeah, you should have a letter and, like I said, a parking pass or something from your work stating that.
Like this.
Correct. Yes. They put high levels of lead in our children's toys, for God's sake. Yeah, I know. We've talked about that too as well. And after all this is over, Ellen, I promise you we will get into that subject. So, Noah said, "Wow, over 6,000."
No. I changed that number earlier.
It.
It was what, 2,400 and something?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around 2,400 and something.
Yep, and Byron Bagwell, that's another reason that stimulus package hasn't passed because they're wanting $15 minimum wage to go into effect. And right now, that's not the time to be asking for something like this. We have got to get this under control and quit whimpering around, and let's get something done. I'm sick and tired of hearing, I want this, I want that. From the Democrats, the Republicans, right. It doesn't matter. Hey, we need to get something done so we can help the citizens of this great country out. And I'm going to keep preaching this every show, Mitchell, until we get it to sink in, not to our viewers, but to maybe some politicians that are listening to this. Maybe somebody will like to forward this to some of our politicians in the great Washington, D.C., and let them listen to what we're saying because maybe it'll make some sense.
Right.
Hey.
Well, I know Marco Rubio, he's been working really hard as well on trying to get this bill to pass up there, and he had a couple of Democrats went along with him on his form of the bill. So, I mean, there is some bipartisan going on. But
there is.
But there's a couple there, they want it their way or no way, and that's the problem.
Right.
And those people who want it their way or no way, they're the ones who don't give a darn about our citizens here at all. They only care about their own personal vendettas.
Right.
And I'm telling you, it's speaking volumes. Watch C-SPAN. I know sometimes it's boring at times, but it's great information. The news can't put spin on it.
Right.
It is the truth. Whatever they're talking to those mics, that's what gets documented. And pay attention to it, and you'll understand, hey, they're trying to slip all this stupid bull crap in that don't even deserve to be in the bill in the first place.
Right.
And if you think that's happening now, how much do you think it happens on a daily
basis
with other bills that they try to pass?
Yeah.
So let them know.
Yeah, let them know.
If you don't like it, come November at the polls.
Yeah. Time to bring back Teddy's idea of antitrust on pharmaceutical companies. Agreed. Yep, I fully agree with that. Big problem is the American work ethic has deteriorated so much. Yeah, unfortunately for, Cheryl, right? Cheryl. We grew up in a age, me, you, Dave, we're all around the same age where, our parents taught us work ethic, how to work at a young age, what to look for. And that made us better.
And how to talk to people.
Yes. And that made us better citizens as we grew older. And we've taken those values and now we try to instill that in our kids. The problem is that with everything that's gone electronic-wise, per se, the electronics, the social medias that are out there, our kids and our future kids, hopefully not, but our future kids have gotten lazy because, right now they think that they should get everything. You know what I mean? That everything should be handed to them, and they don't have that work ethic anymore. And you can call them millennials if you want. That's the term. But unfortunately for us, and that's exactly right, Cheryl, sometimes, they just don't get it. And hopefully sooner or later, they will get it. Yeah. So Noah jumped to 200,000. Rebecca, thank you. At least some of random analysis for quality control. Mm-hmm. Agree with that. Michael Heater is joining us. Dave Holland Jr., Trent Bryant. What is bad people going in stores and buying everything and other people can't get the stuff they need to stop? Well, I just told you, Tony, how we can handle that. Yep. We can stop that price gouging.
Or just put one per customer.
Or, the problem is, that still work too. Yeah, that would work.
Someone goes up there to the cash register with two items that are the same. They got them a buggy there. They throw one item in the buggy to go back on the shelf, and they'll only give you one.
The only thing with that, though, is, Mitchell, because people are so panicky and everything that's going on right now and so on the edge, that if you do that, some cashier may get punched in the face. You know how people are. Unfortunately, we would hope that would not happen. You know what I mean? But if you put a sign up there that says you're going to get charged $99.95, those eyes widen up. Oh, heck no, man. I'm leaving that on the shelf. Are you kidding me? 2 hand sanitizers, $99.95? Yep, that's exactly right. That was because of the passing of Sam Walton and her daughter sold it out. Yep. And that's exactly right. Poor Sam's got to be rolling in his grave. Yes, Greenland is an ice trap. I've been to Thule, Greenland. We did a Fleet X up there. Cold, 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 my friend. Please respect our elderly. It is called respect. Thank you, Miss Shirley Bagwell. Absolutely. Yes, don't send them to Texas. Ooh. The Walmart sellout happened when Sam Walton passed. Family, that's exactly right. Lynn Hines, thank you for joining us. Group immunity, as Byron said a while ago. I say post the National Guard in Winn-Dixie and people become frightened. Well, you don't want them to be too frightened, Noah, to go in there to get the groceries. Right. I mean, can you imagine some 75, 77, 78-year-old lady going in there doing her little deal in her little hour,
right,
and here's the National Guard standing at every aisle? Oh, my God, you'd put the real panic in people then. No, we don't need to go that far. There's some other things that we can do besides bringing the National Guard in right now. We haven't declared martial law on anything.
Right, that's what I was fixing to say. That's scared of death that martial
law is in effect. The only people this check will help is millionaires.
Not really. I don't see how it just helps millionaires when they're giving each individual only up underneath $75,000.
If they keep it, So
I mean, if they don't change it,
right.
To me, it helps everybody out. It does help millionaires out because guess what we're going to do? We're going to buy a product that they actually own the company of, and they're going to make their money too. So to me, it works a whole lot better than bailing out a bunch of big businesses. Now, I was not a very big fan of bailing out the automotive industry.
Right.
They should have fixed that on their own. And there was actually one company that did say, hey, we're not going to take this money. We found a way we're going to restructure here at Ford Motor Company.
Right.
And we can take care
of it. We can take it. Right.
And so, I mean, I'm not big into big bailouts like that, but helping your American citizens out this way, everybody's profit some way or another. But let me tell you, again, no such thing as a free lunch. That money will have to be paid back.
Yes, that's
one
right.
way or another.
That's right.
So,
Mr. Davis, no, it's just something I seen. And again, it wasn't my idea. I can't take full credit for that. I've seen that somewhere else. It just makes a lot of sense. Phil Jackson, that's a great idea. Richard found one roll of toilet paper online for about what?
I believe
For 60, and see, here we go.
I believe
All right. And we can stop that, Marie, with what I just said.
Let's check out eBay right now.
Yeah, check out
let's see
eBay.
what
We're going to check out eBay to see. That's ridiculous, Marie. I can tell you that right now. If I found a roll of toilet paper for $68, you know what I'm doing with it? I used to be a punter in high school. I'm taking that roll of toilet paper and kicking it all the way down to the grocery aisle, and somebody just pick it up and run with it. $68. Are you kidding me, David? She lives here, so
I'm seeing it. $49.99, $69.99
for a roll of toilet paper.
That's for a bulk.
A bulk.
Yep.
Okay.
Three.
Two rolling,
Right.
2 rolls of paper.
2 rolls. That's a bulk. Golly, are you kidding me?
Let's see what this one is.
All right, while he's looking at that, I was answering Mr. Mitchell's question.
These are mega rolls,
Okay.
and guess what? They have took it off the line.
Uh-huh.
I guess someone jumped all over them.
Yep.
Here is a 24 regular rolls for $40.
Good grief.
Hey, just go
Right
out
there.
and buy those.
That's
little,
$2 a roll.
Buy those little boxes of
See if you,
tissue paper.
Yeah.
you can't see. There
Yeah.
he goes. You can see the price.
That is absolutely nuts, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. That's $2 a roll. Are you kidding me? Really? When you can get a 12-pack R, what's happening, David, right there? Can you, can you go up a little bit on Ellen's question? I need to do something. People are so selfish. I guarantee you, hey, yeah, then refund the $4.99, not the $1.99. That's exactly right. You and me need to go into business. You're right, Byron. We've talked about this. I think we're all going to get into business. Cheryl Stevens, no returns, do not risk spreading. Absolutely. You know, I'm glad that you brought that up, Cheryl. We can stop right there for a minute, Dave, if you don't mind. And again, if you're just now joining us on the spot with David Rodgers, right over here to my right, my esteemed colleague, the producer, the guy that's got all these beautiful graphics for you, Mr. Dave Holland, owner of Harry Business. To my right is Mitchell, the American scout and lookout on anything that doesn't belong here, and also terrorism.
That's
Gunter.
right.
Mr. Byron Bagwell missing tonight, but he is on. I do want to get to what you said there. And, you know, how can I go back to a minute, Dave? Just real quick, go back down. I want to word this properly here. So, about the returns. So, me and Byron was talking about this, and we all talked about this after the show last week, about what we felt about returns. Should they or shouldn't? Remember, we asked the sheriff.
Right.
And his lovely wife said no returns. And I fully agree. Because, you know, let's just say this is all over the next 6 weeks. And everybody goes, oh, my gosh, now I've got an overabundance of something. Okay?
Well,
So-
the toilet paper, you'd be all right because you'll use the toilet paper.
Yeah, but
But
what
all
if they
that
say,
hand
yeah,
sanitizer?
but now what if they need the money now? Like, who was saying, I think, was it you, Dave, that was saying, what if they need the money? You know, they need a refund that because they need the money. You know, I shouldn't have really bought that, but I did. Well, let me just say this. You shouldn't have hoarded it in the first place. I don't believe you should be able to return it, not only for the reason that Cheryl says, but for the reason of you were being greedy.
Right.
So why don't you take that, open up your heart, and donate it to the food pantry, to your local food pantry, or to your local wherever, nursing home, or whatever. Why don't we do that? I agree with you, Cheryl, on that no return policy, not only for the spreading of the disease, but for being greedy to begin with. Hey, you want to return 20 packs of, 24 packs of roll of toilet paper? Really? Good grief. No, you should give that away. That's what I think. So this saves the National Guards for real emergencies out west. Yeah, let's do that. I fully agree with you on that. Keep coming with the questions. We're loving it. We'll stay here as long as we need to. This has been going great. We still got a lot of viewers on, Mitchell. I know me and you's got to work, but it doesn't matter because we're here for who? For the the Bradford County residents and citizens and anybody else that's in the surrounding area. So, Crystal, thank you for joining us. We need to come together and help each other set examples for the rest of the country. Bradford strong. And also, Ellen, you can add to that Bradford proud. Bradford strong, Bradford proud. That's why we do this, because we love our community. We love each and every one of you. And I mean it. When we say that, we just don't throw words out there. We mean it. Essential passes, lockdowns, curfews. We're living 1984. Yeah, I get it, but hey, it's come to those times now, Cheryl, where, if we don't get a control of this thing can spread like wildfire, and it has, and we've seen it. And like you said, the numbers keep growing. I wanted to give you a number right here. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll get to you here in just a second, Billy. Let me give you something. Do you think we have problems? Let me give you somebody that has problems. Italy has problems. They are having over 5,000 new cases daily. David, daily. And they have been on lockdown for 2.5 weeks. And they still are getting 5,000 cases a day. And you think we have problems? Man, that ain't nowhere near what that is. What is Italy? What's the population probably? 4 million?
Let's see.
4 million? He's going to check the population out. But can you imagine that? 5,000 new. 60 million, okay, for Italy on their population. 60 million. And they're getting 5,000 cases, David, daily. So let's just say over a week, that's 30. If I do my math right, if the numbers stay right, 5 times 7 is 35, right? That would be 35,000 cases a week, new ones. And you do that times 4, that's 120,000. You do that times 4 again, that's 500,000. If they don't get something done, I'm telling you right now, that is absolutely crazy.
Well, they have like 490-something deaths in one day?
In one day. 490 deaths in one day, ladies and gentlemen. And you think we have problems?
Week.
That was last week. That's exactly right. So, do y'all think we will have a lot of jobs back over here, like the clothing, pharmaceutical, my stuff like that after this is over? I think so, Billy. I really do. I think we'll start seeing, hopefully, our congressional people and people in higher places that deal with, exports, imports, things like that. Secretary of Labor, Treasurer, all those guys will see all this, and they come to a big-time conclusion and go, "Hey, yeah, we need to bring this back." But we got to start. We got to start showing that we can do this before we do. So, Tim Page, maximum bill. Agree, Mr. Bagwell. My nasty words for some politicians: don't mess with businesses. Well, one page only U.S. citizen. Yeah, I agree, Carlton. That's replying to Bagwell there. So, yeah, I bet people now will participate. The restaurant workers, or respect the restaurant workers and people working in grocery stores, picking up their garbage, as they said, your ass home. So we need to look at the minimum wage for sure. I agree, Billy Rayberg. Don't get me wrong. I think that we should jack the minimum wage. Let me ask you this. Do you think that we should do it right now while we're in the middle of a crisis? I'm not disagreeing with you. Do you think that we ought to stop this stimulus package that's going to help people right now to argue about minimum wage? Again, I agree that we should bring minimum wage up. I'm just asking, is this the time to do it? That's my thing. Is this the proper time to do it?
And the only bad thing about minimum wage, you know what happens when you raise it, right? All the goods.
Well, they go up too. Well, of course. Yeah. So that little 99-cent hamburger that you're getting at McDonald's, I'm just saying, now that 99-cent hamburger,
$2.
yeah, becomes $1.89.
Yep.
That's exactly right, because, of course, the businesses are going to want to recoup their money. How do they recoup their money? From the consumer.
That's right.
It goes to the consumer, everything. Sport. Hey, when you want to go watch a basketball game, Dave, at UF, okay? Yeah. And let's say you get tickets for $10. But now minimum wage, the person that's got to work that, now you got to pay them $15. That $10 ticket became $23.50. You see what I'm? Somebody's got to pay for it, and it's the consumer that has to pay for that. Right. So, let's see, Billy Rayberg. And I know you cannot make it on $9 an hour when rent in Bradford County is $900 to $1,300 for a trailer or a double wide. So we need to start paying more money or leave them on government assistance. Again, Billy, I'm not disagreeing with you here. I'm just saying that we've talked about this. And I'm just saying, is this the time to argue that we need to push up, to a $15 an hour minimum wage law right now when we're trying to get money to help out the American workers right now that are unemployed? People are losing their jobs by the thousands every day. And, they're having to pick up what work they can. And you're right. And what's happening here is some of that is the reason they held up that stimulus package, because what they demanded that they go to a $15, that was one of the things on there. One of the, what was it, like 15 things they wanted, right?
A bunch of crap
in there that I don't even want to discuss and go over, but that was one that I seen, and we cannot, ladies and gentlemen, argue that point right now.
And the thing is, when we get over this crisis and we do start to look at doing the minimum wage increases, we don't need to do it, crazily. I
Correct.
mean, we don't need to jump it up $5 whole than what they're making now.
Right. No.
You do it
in increments.
In increments. To get them to that point.
All right. Now, Billy, I want to propose something to you gentlemen too. All right. Let me propose something. Let's just say we bump minimum wage to $15 an hour. Okay. How about David Rodgers, let's say I make $20 an hour. Okay? What about my wage now? Why don't I get an increase?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Now you got the increase. Now the private sectors is got to look like hey, I need to increase these guys' salary, because why does he want to come over here and do an important job for me at $20 or $21 an hour? And here's a guy that's flipping burgers and french fries, which is a very important job. He's already making $15. There's a $6 difference there. And the jobs, and I'm not belittling anything that somebody at a fast food joint does, but there's a big discrepancy on the jobs. So, the job titles and what you're doing and the job duties. So now what do you do for the person that's in the private sector or even military? Everything will get affected when you start to bring up that minimum wage deal to $15 an hour. So, let's just say Billy, I don't know what Billy makes. I'm sure he makes a lot of money. He owns half of Jackson's, Jackson's Building Supply. But anyway, so, I mean, if you bring that minimum wage dollar up, I'm sure Billy's going to want to see his salary go up too, because the disparity there is probably not going to be much more than what a lot of people are working.
Well, if they're doing. Pay my employees $15 an hour.
Right.
I got to raise that $8 haircut.
See, and where does that go? Who did I just say? To the consumer. That $8 haircut now has become what, 14? Right. Probably. I'm just guessing a number.
And I'll put it like this: if you bump them up to what was he saying, $12 or $15?
Said 15. That's what.
So you say $15 an hour that someone can make right out of high school. All right.
Right.
And then you got someone that works right here in Bradford County, either in the courthouse or at the sheriff's department, that's got a degree, and they're barely making above $15 an hour, and they're putting his or her life on the line to keep you safe at night.
Right.
And anything can happen. They could lose their life in a line of duty.
Sure.
For just a little bit more than what that $15 an hour is.
Correct.
So, and the thing is, I see the reason to increase,
of course,
the minimum wage. But like I said, you do it slowly. You don't do it all at one time.
And I don't think it's the time to do it now.
You let everybody to absorb it little by little.
Yeah.
little by little. You
Yeah.
know, you
So
let-
if they raise to $15 the minimum wage, what about those people that are getting $25 and $30? Are they going to want their raises too?
Well, that's what I was just saying. You remember, that's what I gave that thing, 15 to 21. Let's say David Rodgers making 21, for being a purchasing manager at his company, and Lolo
McDonald's
Joe
was
paying 15 to make frappes. And I'm not saying
$6 more
than what I'm making right now, and the job duties and the job responsibilities are different. And I'm not belittling that, because I used to do that kind of work. Hey, we need all those people. We need those kind of workers.
and
But
it's
I mean, you got to
stone.
correct. It's a
for
stepping stone
kids to come
correct.
in and start
Yeah.
learning values on the job training and how to deal with people. It's a learning experience
Right.
to help them have a job while they're continuing their education and move on into the adult world.
Right. So, David, can you go back? We may have missed Billy's comment there. Can you go back to get that one comment that Billy had, that longer one there? No, we're not going to be able to. I've seen it, Billy, and I will get to that here in just a second. Never would I have thought, whoops. Sorry about that. Never would I have thought I'd see Americans begging for more government controlling them. Well, it shouldn't be. So,
I think that's Billy's comment right there.
okay, you'll pay for it now and pay for it later in higher taxes, just like the county or the state give their people raises. We get higher taxes. I don't see nobody on the show saying that they will decrease. Oh, sorry, Mitchell. How do you get that? Decrease. There it is. Decrease their pay to have lower taxes. Hey, Billy, I just hadn't had a chance to say it yet. Look, I agree with everything that you said. I just think there's a time and a place to do that. And again, I agree that we ought to increase the minimum wage. I think that we ought to do it at a slower deal.
Yeah.
And like you said, at stages. And I also think
I don't
you're
mind.
exactly
I
right.
don't have no problem. What is minimum wage now? $8.
I'm not. Does anybody know what minimum wage is, Dave? Do you know what it is? $8.56.
So you take it this year and you raise it another $1.15.
Right.
And then you take it the next time and you
Maybe raise it $2.
Well, in the last year and a half, it went from $8.36 to $8.56, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay.
So give them a little bit more of a increase to start out minimum wage. I don't have no problem of going up in increments of 50 cents, 75 cents each time. And you want to do it that way. You don't want to jump it off because the economy is not going to be able to afford it.
Absorb it. Yeah,
And,
exactly.
So it will not work out if you just bump them straight up to $15 an hour.
Byron said something really good. The Bank of China. That's exactly right, Byron. We've been we always getting money from the Bank of China. We've been doing that for years. And I can tell you right now, we need to stop that. We need to be more self-sufficient and do things for ourselves. I get it. I get why we're doing it. But we have to be more self-sufficient. We have toilet paper at Jackson's Building Supply for $1.99 or for a 4-pack. Or a 4-pack. There you go. Hey, look at there. That ain't bad.
For a 4-pack.
For a 4-pack. Yep. That's pretty good. That's not bad, Billy. You're not price gouging anybody. You know why? Because you love the people of Bradford County. You take care of the people of Bradford County. I know some of the stories that you told me. You're not going to take advantage of somebody. You're going to do the right thing, and the right thing is to sell it as it should. Now, if you want to sell them an extra roll, I think, what is it, $1.99 for a 4-pack? I think you should sell that second roll for $69.99.
And get back to the minimum wage thing.
Yeah.
Just think, when I got out of high school, and I know your minimum wage was a whole lot lower than mine.
Oh, yeah.
But when I got out of high school, I think my minimum wage was $5.40-something cents is what I made, or $5.25.
I think mine was $3.26. Dave, does that sound about right? $3.26 when we were growing up, something like that. $3.26, $3.44, something like that minimum wage.
Oh.
Wasn't it something like that, or was it a little less than that?
A little less than that.
Was it? Yeah. Yeah.
About $1.
No, it was a couple. It was like, I remember, $2.65. That's what it was. It was $2.65. I remember that. So
$1.
Yeah. What that do? He wasn't washing car windshields, Mitchell Gunner.
But yeah, I
Oh,
mean, I
my
started
goodness.
out at like 5.25 an hour, and I got into the electrical trade, and I went to college. I went to Santa Fe Community College, and also through Associated Builders and Contractors School. And slowly I worked, and I moved my way up the wage scale with each time that I graduated from year to year. And that's what it's there for, is to get you into the working world
Work involved,
and,
right?
and have you move up.
All right, Dave bypassed that comment, but that's okay because I seen it. I seen where Anthony Black David just said that he's seen a dozen eggs for $6. $6 for a dozen eggs. Are you now? That's price gouging, Anthony Black. Now that is price gouging because you know what? They didn't sell you the first one for $2.99. They went on ahead and sold you to you for $6. Now that's price gouging. Now, if you want to hoard some eggs, we can do the same deal for you. Right. But that right there, that's price gouging.
I think what
See,
they've done
right away. That is price
the
gouging.
eggs were actually $2. The rest of the money was for the cart that they were in.
Oh, the carton?
Yeah.
Good
The rest of it
grief.
was for the carton.
Then we're in the wrong business, Mitchell. We need to be making egg cartons.
Yeah, they had to stop making toilet paper to make cartons for eggs.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Ellen's got a funny thing. She's talking back to Anthony. My chickens better start laying faster. Yes, I do. Meant to say, check elderly ID at the door of the grocery store during their hours. That would stop others from abusing their time. Hey, that's a great idea, Shirley. Absolutely, they
But
should.
the only thing now with the virus, they want you to keep that 6-foot distance rule, and people really don't want to be at that door when these people are coming in there because of their afraid for their health.
Bart, I agree with you. Some of these people selling this stuff probably aren't even in the USA because you know why? Because there's people on eBay. I don't know where those people are from. They're selling you toilet paper for $69.99 a dadgum 24-pack. Really? Yeah, so, it's hard to control and it's hard for our Homeland Security to catch everybody. But I can tell you what, if they started getting onto these people and levying big-time fines, or how about some jail terms? How about some time in the county pokey? And that right there will tell you about gouging prices on American people during bad times, during, famous time to do it, after a hurricane or during a hurricane. Oh, man, these guys are going to be traveling from South Florida. They're coming to Georgia. So guess what? We're going to spike gas up. We're going to spike hotels up. We're going to spike food up. Well, and guess what? That's absolutely wrong.
Do you know what I do during hurricane season? If I ride by a gas station and I see their prices jumped up, almost 50 to 75 cents.
Do you make the call right then?
I call Florida Department of Agriculture right then, and I report that gas station.
Good for you.
I don't put up with that bull.
That's good because you know what? That is wrong. Yeah. So let me see here. Those extra meat could be donated to the food pantry soup kitchens. Absolutely. Ellen, yes, thank you. Bradford proud, Bradford strong. It's going to all be over by Easter. Carlton, why do you say that?
I hope so.
I hope you're right. But what makes you think that? I just want to know what you think. Yeah, Italy is a mess. The little woman that is working at the old folks' home making $9 an hour, wiping some. I know what he said. Somebody's asked like somebody's kinfolk on that watching. Don't diss about the minimum wage increase.
No, we agree.
I agree with you. That's what I was saying. I wanted you to know that I agreed with you.
Yeah, we are in agreement, but you have to watch out how fast that you move that table up because you want everyone to be able to absorb it, and it will be handed down in commodities when you go to buy stuff.
Yeah,
you're going to pay for it.
And like I said, it becomes a snowball effect. Well, it becomes a snowball.
You want to raise so you can afford.
Right. So it becomes a snowball effect. Not only do you make minimum wage that, now the private sector, Dave's Hair Place, my business, your count. Now they all want their raises. So we're going to increase to everybody. And guess what? Again, that ticket that you're going to go see the Florida Gators play for used to pay $10 for, $23.50, baby. It's still a heck of a deal at $23.50, and you're going, man, I used to pay $10 for that ticket. Same seat.
Right.
So it gets passed down to the consumers. But if they're on lockdown, how? Not she's to Noah's thing deal. I saw over the weekend where one day they had 793 deaths in 24 hours. Has an 8 a.m. Sunday morning our time. I'm sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
believe it.
yeah. That's pretty much out of that. Straight out of Hampton, America. It needs to be at least $12 an hour for somebody to work for another person. If you don't, the rich man will work you for nothing. You know that's true. If you ever work for the private sector, I mean a private sector, not the county or state or local government, which you're right. You're lucky to have insurance, retirement, 401k paid, holidays for babies and all.
Well, you want to know what actually hurts the wages here in the United States? It's illegal aliens coming here working, taking the jobs away from American citizens because they're not just out there working on farms anymore. They're doing drywall, they're doing electrical work, they're taking up the trades, and they'll work for less money than what an American will work, and that's what drives the wages down. And not all that money stays here in the United States. They will take that money and they will ship it back to Mexico for their family.
Right.
Because what they make in a week here in the United States,
They
can live on it for months.
Probably a year.
Yeah, or
Well,
years there in Mexico.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just, I'm not just picking on Mexico, but we have
Right,
other
right.
countries as well. And that really what drives the wages down from what we should actually be making. And, and I imposed a thing. I talked to some senators in the past, and in my view, I think what they should do is go after these contractors and these companies that actually hire illegals willingly, knowing that they are illegal, and especially when it comes to construction, they ought to take away their daggum license for 2 to 3 years, give them a real good penalty, and the second time they get caught using illegal aliens as labor, I think they should lose their license forever. And I tell you what, you will start seeing some changes really fast here in the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, and that's a great explanation, Mitchell. And I want to thank you guys for really commenting in. This has been a great question, and this has been great. I do want to go back to something Byron said. He said, increase the value of the American dollar. Byron, me and you've had this conversation before. We've had it with Mitchell and Dave. The problem is, you remember how our currency used to be backed? What was it backed by?
By gold.
By gold and silver at times.
That's right.
Here's the problem.
Now we just print it.
Now we just print it. There's nothing to back it. That's why the value of the dollar, Byron, you know as well as I do, is not going to increase because we have nothing to back it with. We just keep printing money. So guess what? Other countries where the dollar should be worth a lot more than pretty much their, whether it's a lira or whatever.
Right. I just printed a couple of hundreds last night.
Did you? Well, where's mine? Well, gee. But anyway, and look, can you go back, Dave, real quick? I'm sorry. Maybe you can't. I want you to put a love by Ellen's deal right there. She says, quit arguing the bull crap. Let's get this problem fixed. Absolutely, Ellen. I fully agree with you. Let's see here. Straight out, okay. Rats, I must redo it now. Raise wage equals higher prices, goods. Yep, and that's it. Yeah, what we just talked about. Go down, David, a little bit there, and we'll keep going with some of the comments. Not to mention business cutting corners to survive. Well, that's exactly. It's either that, or they have to absorb it. No minimum wage is an entry level pay. Yeah, Byron, we've had this conversation before, brother. And then I'm going to demand the difference on top of my salary. So, yeah, of course you are. And that's exactly what we just talked about. So, unskilled labor gets paid accordingly. Fully agree there, Dwight Allen. Yeah, if you don't have a skill, you should get blank dollar until you learn the skill or go to school to get that skill down pat, and then you can go up to that next level. And that's the way that most jobs should or tend to be or should work. That's the way it works. Dave, inexperienced hair stylist comes into, ain't cut a lick of hair except at school. Okay? And she works for you. All right? Are you going to start her out same as what's the girl that I like in there? What's her name? Sheila. Are you going to start out the same as Sheila's making?
Why no?
Of course not. Why?
Because she's inexperienced.
That's right. So yeah, you got
because you go to school and you get licensed does
Right.
not make you an experienced
Right.
hairdresser.
there's my point
You
right
got to
there.
get out in the street in the real world
Right.
and work that profession
Right.
to become an experienced professional.
Right. That's exactly right. You'll pay for it now or pay for it later in higher tax. Just like, okay, yep. And we talked about Billy, and you're right. It gets paid. It comes out of somewhere. So Cheryl replied to Byron, "Good luck with that." I agree with that, Byron, because I work at a restaurant out there at Camp Blanding, and we cater to the actor troops there for training purposes. And I'm glad you still got a job. I'm assuming you still got a job out there because, hey, the troops still got to be fed, right? All
right.
the time. They can make that and more if they have skills. Yep, I agree with you, Byron. I agree with you, David, on pay raise. Now, when we get back to normal, everyone should get a raise.
And since and since like Dwight Allen says, Dwight Allen is saying, learn a trade. And this, I tell you, we got the perfect place here for our young adults in high school to
Oh,
learn
my
a
God,
trade.
yes.
Using that vocational college that we have to learn those trades. And, they're trying to get more trades to come in. They're talking about trying to get electrical and HVAC. And I tell you, these kids take those opportunities that they know they're probably not going to go to college. They can go there, which is a college.
Which is a college.
While they're at high school, take that
Yep.
class up as an elective. Not only will they graduate with a high school diploma, but they will also have a certificate of completion of 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, and they can continue on there, or they can go into a different type of apprenticeship program, and that way they can be in the real world and make a good living for them
Absolutely.
right off the bat.
Absolutely.
Instead of working for minimum wage, and I tell you, as I sit right here, I know I've worked for Alachua County, but at any minute in time, I could pick up the telephone and I can go work shutdowns at paper mills and powerhouses and stuff like. At a drop of a hat, making $28 an hour.
Easy.
The reason why I don't do it because those jobs don't typically last that long.
No, they last during that period during that shutdown.
And the most time that you make real good money is during those shutdowns. And I tell you, it was nothing for me to go hit a lick somewhere for 7 weeks, and after everything was paid for, I still came back home here to start with 10 grand in my pocket.
Sure. Let's see what Shirley says. I think, don't ever go there. Ask me what my salary was when I retired with a master's degree.
I agree.
Agreed. Yeah, how about that, huh?
I bet you I can guess about how
I
much
bet
you
I
make.
could guess too, Shirley, and I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to say it here. I can bet too. And that is pretty sad.
It is.
So, what has Billy Rayburn got to say there, Mr. David Holland? If you do not enforce the law, the private sector will not give the employee the right pay, and you know that's right. You want to? Oh boy, we could spend a lot of time on this one, Billy. To be honest with you, hey, look, yeah, you're right. You're right to a point, and like I said, I could I could go back and rebuttal that too. But no, we're all on the same page, man. Hey, look, at the end of the day, we all want to make more money. We all want to have a better life for our families, and that's the bottom line. But, right now, it's not about that. You know what I mean? It's about trying to find a cure for this damn virus. That's what we need to be concentrating on. That's what our politicians need to be concentrating on. That's what the people need to be concentrating on. Let's give these people what they need so we can get a cure for this virus and vaccines for people that are suffering with this thing, and we can stop the many deaths that this virus is causing. If not, we're going to be in the same lull 6 months from now talking about the same thing and how many more deaths that has occurred if our politicians don't get on the right path and start doing something instead of arguing about who wants to pass this bill and that bill and I should get this and that.
No, it ain't about it's about what
it's
I can
about
get.
it's about what I can
sneak
get
in.
and sneak in there
Yeah.
and get. Let's not worry about sneaking nothing in there. Let's get this thing passed. And then once this is all over, if y'all want to take that out to the playground and fight about it, I don't really give a darn. Go ahead.
I tell you what, the other day, I thought there was going to be a fight.
Well, I
on the
thought there
Senate
was going to
floor.
be a fight too. And that's exactly right. Obviously, they don't teach economics